Good night, stories and rhymes. Hey diddle diddle, hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle. The cow jumped over the moon. The little dog laughed to see such sport, and the dish ran away with the spoon. Wee Willie Winkie, Wee Willie Winkie runs through the town, upstairs and downstairs in his nightgown, rapping at the window, crying through the lock. Are the children all in bed? For it's past 8 o'clock. Dr. Foster. Dr. Foster went to Gloucester in a shower of rain. He stepped in a puddle right up to his middle and never went there again. It's raining, it's pouring. It's raining, it's pouring. The old man is snoring. He went to bed and bumped his head and couldn't get up in the morning. The grand old Duke of York. The grand old Duke of York. He had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill, and he marched them down again. And when they were up, they were up. And when they were down, they were down. And when they were only halfway up, they were neither up nor down. Simple Simon. Simple Simon met a pie man going to the fair. Said Simple Simon to the pie man, "Let me taste your ware." Said the pie man to Simple Simon, "Show me first your penny." Said Simple Simon to the pie man, "Indeed, I have not any." Down by the station. Down by the station, early in the morning, see the little puffer trains all in a row. The man in the engine pulls a little lever, puff, puff, toot, toot, off we go. Fun on the farm. Betty, the cow, had been at Greenfield's farm for as long as anyone could remember. Even Farmer Smith could not say when it was that he brought her back from the market to lead the herd. "Where this farm would be without me, I just don't know," she was very fond of saying. "I'm so important." "We work hard too," Billy Goat would protest, but Betty never tired of telling how important she was. Betty was also very nosy, snooping around, trying to see what the other animals were doing, hoping to pass on any gossip to Farmer Smith. And if there was nothing to tell him, she would make things up. "I see Mother Horse was late out of the stables once again this morning. Maybe she's feeling ill, poor old thing. More work for me, I suppose, doing her job, making sure the foal doesn't wander off. I was waiting for the blacksmith to fit my new shoes," cried Mother Horse when Farmer Smith asked her why she was late starting work. "Did you forget he was calling today? Betty did say she would remind you." But Betty always had an answer. "I can't remember everything," she would say, but she could remember all that she wanted to tell Farmer Smith, whether he wanted to hear it or not. Ba, ba, let her friend lead the flock this afternoon. Billy Goat ate some pig feed. Mother Hen slept for hours. Sally the dog cut her paw. She won't be fit for work tomorrow, I'm sure of it. "Yes, I will," barked Sally. "I only went across the raspberry patch to fetch one of Baba's lambs." But of course, Betty did not tell Farmer Smith that. He was very angry to think that Sally had been careless. "We must do something about Betty's tale-telling," clucked Old Mother Hen. "But if we do say anything," bleated Billy, "she'll go to Farmer Smith." "Maybe," said Sally, "that could be just what we want." Betty was most interested to hear all the animals talking so seriously together. "It's hidden in the raspberry patch," Sally the dog was saying. "Nobody will ever find it." "Find what?" asked Betty at once. "What's in the raspberry patch?" "Raspberry patch?" said Sally. "Raspberry patch?" echoed Baba. "Raspberry patch?" said Billy. "What raspberry patch?" Betty snorted and stamped off to see Farmer Smith, but he was already in the house having his supper, which meant Betty would not be able to tell him until morning. It seemed a long time to wait. So she went straight to the raspberry patch and started nosing around, determined to find whatever was hidden. She sniffed and searched until the sun went down, but there was nothing. Next morning, she began searching again, nosing around the raspberry patch, determined to find whatever was hidden. "Where's Betty?" thundered Farmer Smith. "She's late for milking." "Oh, Farmer Smith," began Betty, "I've been so busy, But he had already stormed off in a temper. "See you later," she heard Baba calling to Billy. "It's my turn to go to the raspberry patch." "Not if I get there first," Betty said to herself, determined to reach the raspberry patch before Baba and start searching again. "The beasts! Fancy them having a secret and not telling me." But after lots more nosing around, still Betty found nothing. "Oh," she burst out, "if only I could find out exactly what was hidden." So off she marched to the stables. Nobody was there. She went to the barn, but nobody was there either. Everywhere seemed so quiet, except for what sounded like a sudden burst of laughter from behind the hedge. Betty gave the most loud, most furious moo. "The raspberry patch! They've waited until my back was turned so that they could go and get their treasure from the raspberry patch." Off she went, but when she reached the raspberry patch, there was nobody there either. By now, Betty was in a fine old temper, nosing around among the raspberries with even more fury. Then a voice thundered, "Betty, what on earth are you playing at? It's long past milking time again." "Those animals," said Betty. "They've hidden something here, and I mean to find it." The last thing she expected was for the farmer to throw back his head and laugh, as if he would never be able to stop. "Come with me and take a look in the duck pond," he spluttered at last. "First time in my life I have ever seen a pink-nosed cow." "Pink-nosed cow?" screamed Betty, almost running to keep up with him. "Now you can see what a fine nose you really have," bleated Billy Goat, loud enough for Farmer Smith to hear. "Just right for being nosy," Baba chimed in. "Soon see you coming," added Hen. Poor Betty! The juice from the ripe red raspberries had turned her nose bright pink. She looked so sorry for herself that Farmer Smith began laughing again, and this time all the animals joined in. How Betty wished she had never listened to the animals talking about the raspberry patch. But you may be sure that by the time her pink nose faded, she had made up her mind never to be nosy again. Tom, the piper's son. Tom, Tom, the piper's son, stole a pig and away did run. The pig was eat, and Tom was beat, and Tom went howling down the street. I see the moon. I see the moon, and the moon sees me. God bless the moon, and God bless me. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Cobbler, cobbler. Cobbler, cobbler, mend my shoe. Get it done by 2:30. Stitch it up and stitched it down, then I'll give you half a crown. Hot cross buns. Hot cross buns, hot cross buns, 1 a penny, 2 a penny, hot cross buns. If you have no daughters, give them to your sons, 1 a penny, 2 a penny, hot cross buns. Seesaw, Marjorie Daw. Seesaw, Marjorie Daw, Johnny shall have a new master. He shall have but a penny a day, because he can't work any faster. How many miles? How many miles to Babylon? 60 miles and 10. Can I get there by candlelight? Yes, and back again. If your heels are nimble and light, you may get there by candlelight. London Bridge. London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady. Build it up with wood and clay, wood and clay, wood and clay. Build it up with wood and clay, my fair lady. Ding dong bell. Ding dong bell, pussy's in the well. Who put her in? Little Johnny Thin. Who pulled her out? Little Tommy Stout. What a naughty boy was that, to try to drown poor Pussycat, who never did him any harm, but killed all mice in his father's barn. Teddy's moon balloon. One morning, Teddy Bear had just eaten his porridge when, guess what he saw through the window? A big yellow balloon! A big yellow balloon with a ticket tied to the string. Teddy watched it, bouncing and bobbing along as the breeze lifted it up into the sky. There were lots of other balloons too. There's a balloon race in the meadow today, Teddy, smiled Daddy Bear. It's to raise money for the Toys Hospital. Balloon race? Said Teddy. What's that? So Daddy explained. Every bear who buys a balloon writes their name on a ticket. When the balloons go up in the air, the bear whose name is on the balloon which goes the furthest wins the race. Teddy wanted a big yellow balloon like the one he had seen outside his window. By the time his turn came to put his name on a ticket, there was only one left. Teddy did like its round, smiley face. It was such a lovely, big, smiley balloon that Teddy didn't want to let go of the string. Then a gust of wind tugged it out of his paw, and away it went, up and up, higher and higher into the sky. When's the race over? He asked. When we know which balloon has traveled the furthest, said Mummy. So if your balloon goes further than anyone else's, you win a prize. But my balloon will come back, Teddy said anxiously. Won't it? Maybe, said Daddy at last, if you wish hard enough. So, for the rest of the day, Teddy kept wishing and wishing. Teddy just could not stop thinking about his big yellow balloon with the smiley face. As it grew dark, he stared up at the sky, hoping he might see it again. "Bedtime, Teddy," said Daddy Bear. "Want to see something big and yellow with a smiley face?" "My balloon?" gasped Teddy. "Not quite," smiled Daddy, "but you're nearly right." "It's the man in the moon," Daddy went on. "Isn't he like your balloon?" Teddy smiled and nodded, and the more he looked at the man in the moon, the nearer his smiley face seemed to get. Suddenly, Teddy sat up, his eyes big and round. "You're not the man in the moon," he cried, staring at the smiling face. "You're my big yellow balloon." The balloon smiled and bobbed about. Teddy reached out to grab the string, and the next minute he was sailing through the window with the balloon lifting him up and up into the night sky. "This is fun," Teddy laughed. And so it was. Lots of balloons were doing their best to be in the race, but none of them could catch Teddy and his big yellow smiley balloon. And the closer they got to the man in the moon, the bigger his round yellow face became. "The winner," he declared in his deep, rumbly sort of voice. "Teddy Bear has won the balloon race." The balloon lifted Teddy Bear a tiny bit higher, then they floated down on a soft cloud. The man in the moon's smile was so bright, it was almost like daytime, except for the stars twinkling. "What's this?" asked Teddy, holding out his paw towards a shower of beautiful silver balls drifting down. "Is it rain?" "No," chuckled the cloud. "They are moonbeams. Look!" The cloud gave a little puff and a silver moonbeam floated onto Teddy's paw. "That's for winning the balloon race," said the cloud. "And for coming to see me," boomed the man in the moon. Before Teddy could speak, there was a flash in the sky, then a rumble, strong enough to shake the cloud. "I knew there'd be a storm," puffed the cloud, "as soon as my edges turned black." "Time for you to go, Teddy Bear," said the man in the moon. "Will you come and see me again?" "Oh, yes," said Teddy, putting the moonbeams in his pocket. "Thank you very much." The big yellow balloon gave a little tug on its string, taking Teddy Bear up into the air once more. Thunder rolled and the lightning flashed, but Teddy didn't mind, not one bit. Soon, Teddy was back in his bed, with the big yellow balloon smiling at him, and the man in the moon playing hide and seek behind the clouds. Teddy watched him for a long time before he fell asleep. "Quite a storm we had last night, Teddy," said Mummy Bear next day. My balloon!" cried Teddy, looking at the end of his bed. "My big yellow balloon!" Daddy laughed. "You're going to get it back after all, Teddy. Your balloon went the furthest and you've won the balloon race. What a splendid prize you've got!" Teddy's prize was a journey in a real balloon. Up into the sky he went, his friends cheering and waving, and how different it all looked in the daytime. There was no sign of the man in the moon, but Teddy knew he would see him later, smiling through his window. And he still had his moonbeam, blown by a friendly cloud. Hickory dickory dock. Hickory dickory dock. The mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck one, the mouse went down. Hickory dickory dock. Jack be nimble. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, Jack jump over the candlestick. This little piggy went to the market. This little piggy stayed at home. This little piggy had roast beef. This little piggy had none. And this little piggy cried, wee, 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 all the way home. Lucy Locket. Lucy Locket lost her pocket. Kitty Fisher found it. Not a penny was there in it, but a ribbon round it. I'm a little teapot. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here's my handle, here's my spout. When I see the teacups, hear me shout, tip me up and pour me out. Bobby Shafto. Bobby Shafto's gone to sea, silver buckles on his knee. He'll come back and marry me, bonny Bobby Shafto. Bobby Shafto's bright and fair, combing down his yellow hair. Here's my love forevermore, bonny Bobby Shafto. Monday's child. Monday's child is fair of face. Tuesday's child is full of grace. Wednesday's child is full of woe. Thursday's child has far to go. Friday's child is loving and giving. Saturday's child works hard for a living. But the child that is born on the Sabbath day is bonny and blithe and good and gay. Go to bed late. Go to bed late, stay very small. Go to bed early, grow very tall. A diller, a dollar. A diller, a dollar, a 10 o'clock scholar. What makes you come so soon? You used to come at 10 o'clock, but now you come at noon. Curly locks. Curly locks, curly locks, will you be mine? You shall not wash dishes, nor yet feed the swine. You'll sit on a cushion and sew a fine seam, and feed upon strawberries, sugar, and cream.